Hello everybody, and as I promised last week, I take you a little deeper into this assignment, titled A Deeper Look at Your Wicked Problem. Now, so far, you've written your statement on a wicked problem, that short 2-paragraph initial piece of writing on the wicked problem, and then the overview of expert discussion on the wicked problem. And you notice that on that assignment, you were able to use the first paragraph of your statement of a wicked problem as the first paragraph for your overview. I'm building that all the way through the semester, allowing you to look at previous work you've done, incorporate my comments on that work into each new work to improve and to get better at it. And in fact, you can incorporate all of the overview of discussion into this assignment. But, big but, it'll show up in different places. It won't be the whole essay just planted onto the page as part of this, but you'll be able to break it up and use it strategically as you go. More on that in a minute. It's due October 23, as you can tell. That's a Wednesday, by midnight, of course. You'll want to start right away and take another look at this assignment because there are a few items here on the instructions you'll need to really have good understanding of as you get going. Now, this is a little different than the last assignment because there's more focus on bringing Chevalier's thinking into your wicked problem. Especially what he says. Start with what he says in chapter 2 as you start thinking. Remember, you've got to frame the problem. So situation, complication, and don't forget asking your key question. And he talks about what types of key questions to ask. Just one. And then follow his advice in chapter 3 about specifically identifying root causes, not as opposed to symptoms, as you take your deeper look. So follow his advice and, in fact, give him credit where credit is due. Your first 2 paragraphs should include your response to these 2 instructions I just mentioned. So your first 2 paragraphs, there's your content right there. You've done all the research you need. You've got your expert discussion. You've got 3 sources. That's plenty. Give Google the day off. And remember, like I said just a minute ago, you can bring parts of that essay. In fact, you can bring the whole essay in, just not all together, like I said. For instance, you'll see that the introduction to your overview of sources will be a tough fit as only your introduction, because your introduction has to contain these elements. So you could use part of that overview's introduction as long as you take care of those other pieces of business as well in your first 2 paragraphs. Now, the bits on your sources, by all means, you can bring them into your other paragraphs. But remember, this is not an essay about your sources. So lead with your thinking as you frame the problem, talk about its root causes. Right? Okay, so then you can back up later on in each paragraph where your sources come in to support what you're saying. And remember the last paragraph on the overview? You can't be the last paragraph on this essay but maybe after you finish talking about your sources, you can find a home for that in one of the paragraphs, probably as a separate paragraph still. Now, I'm going to show you something new that I put on the modules page in a second. Some of you have already used it. And you've got a works cited page to do this time. Remember those bibliographic citations of your sources that you had below your last paragraph on your overview? Same sources. And if I didn't say anything about your citations, they're good to go. If I did suggest changes, be sure to make them. Design statement like before. And something you might like to know, besides the late penalty, you get a week if you want to submit it late, there's extra credit available this time if you get it to me 24 hours prior to the deadline, which of course would mean midnight Tuesday, October 22nd, right? Now, let me show you what I added. And some of you have already used it, like I said, but if you haven't, this will really help. It's a citation generator if you needed to fix anything in your citations from the overview, if I said anything. If I didn't, just pop onto this next link, take a look at the sample works cited page, see what it looks like. Now you're only going to have, what, 4 sources? Your 3 sources from your overview assignment, and of course Chevalier, and in alphabetical order by author's last name, please. Okay, that's the big 800-pound gorilla of the week. And of course, you've got a little reading to do. I've kept the reading light, but it is essential. So you'll see those chapters, and 6 and 8, and they say, I say, read 8 for Wednesday and 6 for Friday. Have a great week, and if you have questions, don't hesitate to pop over to the discussions page and go to the chat room and ask me. I check it once or twice a day, every day. Have a great week, and I look forward to reading your work on the Deeper Look essay.